Step into realms where the heart takes flight, where strategy meets the edge of night. The Dungeons, Dragons, and Psychology Podcast. Prepare your mind. Now be our guest.
You may remember last year we did an episode on making role-playing games less complicated with the crew from Super Blood Moon Studios. Well, since then, they've had quite the Kickstarter and are just now getting ready to release the print copy of their new RPG, Realms of Elghrune. And today, we're going to catch up with them and find out a little bit more about their TRPG. I'm Robert Walker, author of Session Zero, the DMG to writing great campaigns in any system. And this is my show, where I teach collaborative storytellers how to have more immersive campaigns using psychology. Let's get right to the interview.
Hey, my name is Chaney, and I am the co-creator and co-owner of Super Blood Moon Studios and the tabletop RPG Realms of Elghrune.
Hi, my name's Cory Holman, and I'm the other half of Super Blood Moon Studios and the other half of Realms of Elghrune.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on today. Listeners, if you've listened to the show from early on, if you were listening during season 1, you will probably recognize Cory and Chaney. They were on and they discussed how to make RPGs less complicated with us during season 1. But since that time, their game has had a pretty awesome Kickstarter and things are really rolling on that front. So can you guys just kind of fill the listeners in, the cyclothids in on what's happened with Realms of Elghrune since last time we talked?
Do you want to go? You want me to go?
Ladies first.
All right. So I remember last time that we was on, we had said that we was just going to do the book ourselves and put it out.
Mm-hmm.
That was before we found a company called World of Game Design. They're lifesavers. I'll just go ahead and put it like that. Absolute lifesavers. We contacted them, and they're a company that helps people like us produce their tabletop RPGs. So we reached out to them. They really dug the idea of Realms of Elghrune and helped us produce a Kickstarter for it. And, you know, long story short, we ended up funding 318%, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 318%. And that was absolutely humbling to see.
Yeah.
But it's been a really cool process because there was a whole lot more to it than we thought. And if you're somebody who is like me and Chaney, trying to get a game off the ground and you don't know where to start, I encourage you to look to World of Game Design or somebody like them, because there's actually quite a few people out there that do that. Now, when I say people, I mean companies. As far as like where the game is now, just a couple of hours ago, as of the recording of this, the PDF has already hit people's inboxes. And then actually, by the time that this episode gets released, it will be for sale on our website in case you're interested. So
Awesome. Yeah, I got my notification, a couple hours ago that the PDF was there, and I've been flipping through it myself, and really great looking artwork, really nice design. It looks awesome. And you guys, like, I think a lot of things were really working in your favor when you did your Kickstarter, because it seemed like you just kind of had this really lucky moment of your release, and your concept was happening right as the same time as the Wizards debacle, where everyone was sort of looking for something different and something new because of the feelings that they were having because of that part of the role-playing world. So do you think that kind of played into it? And did you hear anything about that as the Kickstarter was going on?
Brother, let me tell you, whenever we said the stars have aligned for us, we were It was absolutely insane because we funded in the first 12 hours, and it was a week after the first OGL stuff started dropping. And so, do you want to talk about? We funded so stinking fast because of that. People were looking all over Kickstarter for any and everything like us. So hats off to you, Wizard. Thanks. But no, it was actually really cool to be able to see independent tabletop RPGs, not just us, I'm talking about everybody, get the spotlight for a little while. And it was cool to see games like Morkborg, Mothership, OSE, all those kinds of things grow exponentially during that time, because most of the player base that's out there have no idea that people like us exist. I have a friend, literally we're going to Gen Con this year, which is something that we're probably going to talk about at some point. He's coming with us to help us GM at Gen Con, right? And he was the guy that got me and Chaney into playing D&D in the first place. And we was trying to explain to him another game. This was Morkborg. Was trying to explain to him what Morkborg was, and he still, even after the OGL and all that kind of stuff, had no idea what it was. And that was insane to me that
there's still a lot of people left out in the dark.
Yeah, they don't know about these other games, and it's just like, come listen to the gospel. I'll preach it to you. It's better over here.
Right.
So
yeah, no, I had Monty Cook, I had Sean K. Reynolds on the show, both from Monty Cook Games, and they definitely saw a benefit from that same blowback at Wizards of the Coast.
Yes.
And when Sean was on the show, he was definitely talking about how the environment just shifted so much, and people were way more excited about trying other games. So I think it was really good for the community overall, just getting people to branch out and experience different types of role playing and different systems. But can you tell us a little bit about your game and its mechanics? What makes it different from the other games that people might be more familiar with?
What makes Realms different really is the combat system is something I can explain to your grandma.
Nice.
It is. It's you roll, I roll, highest number wins. Your gear that you pick up along in the dungeon adds modifiers to those rolls, and if you roll the same number, you roll again, and I'm done.
Nice.
That's it. That's the whole combat system. But there's a lot more to it than that. Starting out, yes, it is that simple. But as you play and as you keep going along, the game gets more and more crunchy because your character development comes not from gaining in stat points, because we don't have stat points. Your character development comes from gaining in perks as you level up. And these perks are abilities that are the flavor for your class. And there are millions of combinations. And whenever I say millions, I mean millions of combinations of characters that you could possibly make. You can make a gunslinger who casts spells. You can make a warrior that heals. You can make a nature hunter that can, use technology and all that kind of stuff. So your imagination's the limit. And it's very simple to get into. Extremely simple.
Now, if I remember right, when we were talking during season 1, and I had the two of you on, you were talking about the process of coming up with this idea, and I think it really sprung from something that you and Chaney had talked about basically one night, and the whole idea was about making it more accessible for people, making it more simple for people to just jump in and start playing right now instead of having to learn all these rules and all of this stuff and feeling intimidated and overwhelmed. You wanted people to just be able to come to the table, sit down, and start playing a game. And now that your game is developed and getting out there, how do you feel you've done in accomplishing that goal?
Chaney, do you want to go?
I think
I've kind of commandeered the conversation up to now.
You're good, brother. Gotta let a brother cook. I think we did it. I really do. I really think we have found, it's almost like a style, I guess you could say. Like, this is our style of like how to play tabletop, and it flows really well. Time and time again, like we've had brand new people who've never played the game sit down and play the game and enjoy the game within minutes. So I really think we hit it out of the ballpark. I really do. I believe in this product.
I really put the system to the test one day. I had my parents sit down and play it.
Beautiful.
Now, my sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, sat down and played it with us, who are actually a part of my D&D table. So there were experienced players there who knew kind of what to do, but both of my parents sat down and played, and they were up and going within 5 to 10 minutes. Knew what to do, and it was actually kind of funny. My mom, I suspected her to get into it, but it was actually my dad that got really into it.
Nice.
And it was so simple that even they could get going. We played a little session where they raided a goblin cave and what have you. And whenever they got done, I was like, okay, we kind of understand what this is now. And I had to explain to them that this isn't just like a one-time thing. If we wanted to keep this going, I told them how I could explain how the story could, would keep growing. And they was like, oh, this is what you guys do then. Okay, cool. And so it's cool to see people who have never played anything before in their lives. The most role-playing tabletop RPG they'd ever played was probably Clue, and then get into it, start playing characters, don't have to think much about it. They didn't have to look at their character sheets at all. At all for anything. All they knew is if they wanted to do something, they just had to roll for it. That was it. And it was really, really nice to see. Because I had wondered, do we succeed in what we set out to make? Whenever my parents sat down and played it and I explained it to them and we was up and going within 5 to 10 minutes, I knew then and there that we did. We succeeded. So
that is awesome. So what role in this world does storytelling occupy? I mean, is it a game that's based more on the story and the narrative, or is it more on the mechanics, or is it a balance of the two? How would you define it in that space?
The dead center.
Yeah.
The dead center.
Yeah.
It is the most important thing. We want people to look as little at their character sheet as possible. We want you immersed in what's going on, and we want the story to move. Now, as far as on our end, what does the story play into it? We've started planting seeds in the book, in the core guide already, of what is to come for Realms. It is the first edition of Realms isn't going to be just a conglomeration of campaigns and stories that we thought were cool. It's going to be one long, cohesive story. And then whenever we're done, first edition Realms is over with. And then it goes into second edition Realms. That being said, we're going to take our time telling the story. We want it to go good. We want everything to mesh. We want everything to go well. And they're not all going to connect immediately. I don't really want to say it, but Marvel style, it kind of, because there is superhero fatigue right now.
Yeah, right. But a nice timeline that follows central stories. Yeah.
It will be a timeline that will eventually, if you play through all of it, and this is all just the mainline campaigns, you'll know. It's all pointing towards an end goal. And the more that we put out, the more you're going to realize what that end goal is. And that's something that we've already started in the core guide. So I know that it's really good for a one-shot system. It's actually a fantastic one-shot system. But we are actually making it to play one long story.
That's awesome. So with that, I assume you have some expansions, some additional supplements. Do you have any teasers on any of that stuff currently?
Yeah, Chaney, go for it.
I don't want to spill the beans.
Spill the beans, brother man. What is it?
Okay, so like supplements. Hold on. What was the question?
Just expansions or supplements. What are the future plans going forward with your writing and your world creation?
It's kind of like what Cory said. Like every campaign is going to be a little bit of the overarching story. Right now, should we tell them about the Witherlands?
No. That's a whole other system. No, that's a whole other system that we're working on.
I guess
he's talking about things like the Warlock and
that kind of stuff. Yeah, we got a new class. We got 2 new classes in the works. I'll reveal them here. One of them is a priest, and the other one is a warlock. Warlocks are not necessarily evil or anything like that. They're kind of like fringe line on good and evil. And then priests,
they're not like D&D
no,
warlocks.
They're not.
They're very, very different.
Yeah, they're very different. And then we're doing a priest, which essentially in this world, the priests serve the dragon emperors. So there's going to be a little bit of actual like healing spells and dragon spells that we're going to insert into the game.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Help me out, Corey.
And of course, there's going to be a lot of lore expansion as well,
sure.
but we have to take that slow. You know, we can't show all the cards immediately. We can't give you too much about that.
So another question I had is, you talked a little bit about the customization of characters and things like that, and you've got these new character archetypes coming in. Can you share a few insights about what the character creation process looks like for the game? I mean, everybody's used to D&D, and obviously that character creation process, when you sit down even for a first level game, can take you, a whole session just to make a character. But if you guys are getting off and running in 5 to 10 minutes, I assume the creation process is pretty speedy.
Yeah.
It's incredibly fast, yes. If you're sitting down to play as a level 1 character, let's just take a warrior, for example, because that's the one I can do off the top of my head right now. A warrior, they're going to start with 10 health, and you gain 5 health each round. I mean, each level. I keep saying round. And then you're going to have several gear slots, and it differs per class. With a warrior, you're going to have a helmet slot, a chest piece slot, gloves, and boots. And then you can start with a shield if you wish, but it doesn't add any defense modifier at the beginning.
Okay.
Because you're meant to pick them up as you go. And that's literally it. You're done.
Nice.
That's it. Now, whenever I say you start to pick perks, you're going to pick a perk every 3rd level. Now, you hear that and immediately you're thinking D&D. Oh, that's going to be a little while. No, not in Realms. You're probably going to hit your 3rd level after your first session.
Okay.
Yeah, we always thought it was a crime that you never get to play at higher levels.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
And not just in D&D, because I don't want to just keep trashing D&D, right. But in any game ever. So we made the level system go really, really fast. You're going to pick your first 2 perks within probably the first 2 or 3 sessions.
Nice.
And that's if you go by the actual experience points. If you don't, you can do milestones. Just know that you need to be leveling up pretty fast if you're doing milestones. So your first 2 perks, in my opinion, are probably your most important, because then the level up does slow down because you don't need to be, riding a bullet train the entire time you're playing. So those are probably your first 2. And then plus, if your Realm Master's cool with it, you can always switch out. But,
nice.
I would, if it was at my table, I'd let them switch out.
Yeah, I mean, we've always played with retraining for characters. I think it's nice
right.
if somebody finds out that the build that they had just didn't suit what they were expecting, then I've always been for, find some way in game, in the story narrative, to let them retrain, let them make mechanic changes to their character.
Absolutely. And it would be really simple to do. If you read between the lines, you'd be able to figure out a way really fast how to do that mechanically, or you can come up with a way on your own. And that's just with the warrior. And the warrior is the simplest class to play. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, you're going to have classes that come with a companion. It's probably going to take you a little bit longer. And then your magic casting classes are going to take you probably the longest. And that's just because you have to pick spells.
Right.
But other than that, yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about spell casting? I mean, I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the D20 type systems and how spells work in that. What's different in Realms of Elghrune?
We'll be right back.
Hey, Cyclithids, if you love the Dungeons, Dragons, and Psychology podcast and want to help keep it alive, there are a ton of ways you can support the show. Join us on Patreon for exclusive content like NPC character sheets, early access to new products, and even first looks at DM's Assistant app. You can also grab gaming-inspired merch on the Etsy shop, Games for Games, or pick up one of my books, The Player's Handbook to Real Life, or Session Zero, the DMG to Writing Great Campaigns in any system. And even if financial support isn't in the cards for you, you can still help by sharing the show, leaving reviews, or introducing new players to our community. Links are always in the show notes, and thank you for being the heart of our adventure.
What's different is that we don't use spell slots at all.
Okay.
We have spell points. Each spell has a mana point total, has a mana point cost, and you can just keep casting your little heart out until you run out of mana points. Think of it like a bar in a video game. That's it. That's how it works.
That's awesome.
It's each spell has, say, if a spell costs 6 mana and your mana point total is 24, you can cast that spell 4 times.
Awesome.
You know, that's essentially how that works.
That's really cool.
So.
Can you tell me a little bit about player agency and decision making? Is it built like a linear game, or is the world designed to be a little more sandboxy?
It's whatever you want. It is whatever you want. If you want to try something, since we have no skill points, all you have to do is just roll for it. We have mechanics based set in the game in case you're a newer game master. And you don't really know where to set these challenges at. We have a little bit of mechanics in the book for where to set these challenges at. Sure. But, if you're kind of experienced, you know that it's like 12 or higher, it's a success. It's at like 14 or higher, it's a success. 11 to 13, ask the GM, and like 10 and below is like a fail or something like that. But you're meant, as the realm master, you're meant to kind of just set it on the fly. And always keep the narrative in mind first. It's like a good friend once told me that the dice know the story.
Yeah,
so.
Well, hey, I think I've said that once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah, that made it in the book. I'm pretty sure we even put Robert Walker like a quote in there too.
I love it. Yeah, it's really interesting. My episode that released last week was all about playing or attempting to play in a system agnostic sort of way, where the story takes precedence and the mechanics are basically set aside to the point where you don't really have to think of them. And it really sounds like your RPG is built like that. It's built so that the character sheet and the mechanics and the min-maxing, that stuff is set aside so that the story can take the center stage.
Story is king.
Yeah.
Always. Always, always, always. Story is king. Story is God. Story is all of it.
Right.
You don't come back because the mechanics were cool. No one ever shows back up to game night because, oh man, a warlock plays cool.
Right.
No, you show back up because you want to find out if you guys actually kill Strahd or not.
Right.
That's why you show back up. So the less barrier of entry, and then the less barrier that you have to be able to keep these stories moving along, the better. And that was really what we was trying to achieve. And that being said, we left it open-ended in the development of it on purpose, to where if you want to add a system that your table loves to use for crafting, for survival, for whatever, it's extremely easy to add it in.
Love that.
It's extremely easy to hack. We did that on purpose, because we want people to hack it. We want people to play this game and then make it their own as well, and not have to go across all the red tape it is to make it in something like Pathfinder, D&D. It's one of these more complicated, crunchier systems. You want to add in a crunchy system, add it in. It's very easy to do.
Well, the thing is too is like we're trying to build a community around this game, and we want to be like community friendly. Like other companies, other people. If you love our stuff, if you love our lore or whatever, our mechanics, you want to hack it, like feel free. Like that's flattering to us. Like we did something right. If you're making a hack of our game, so.
If you've always wanted to like make your own system, but you don't really know where to start, let me invite you to give Realms a try and see if you want to start with hacking that system. Because it'd be a whole lot easier than trying to hack 5e, because 5e is hard to hack.
It really is. Honestly, yeah.
So, I mean, because like if you look at something like Morkborg, their third-party license is incredibly free. And so we essentially copied and pasted it. We added a few more things because we're very particular with the lore. If you make something that you want to go along with the world of Elghrune, we're a little funny about it because remember earlier in the episode we said that it's telling an overarching story. So we put the things in there to not step on because we have plans for it. Other than that, it's incredibly free. It's like, I think 3 things, and it's not anything that you really even have to touch. So
awesome. I love that. So what types of players do you think are going to be most drawn to your game and enjoy it the most?
The kind that like Zelda games.
Okay.
The ones
I fall into that category.
Yeah, we cast a wide net, don't we? The reason I say it like that is because the way that we make our dungeons is we like to use Zelda as a model. That's something I've done for years in D&D, and we just carried it over to Realms because it works and people love it, right? So it is traverse dungeon, solve puzzles, get items that's going to help you traverse deeper, and then you have a boss. You have a mini boss and then a boss. Something that would probably be a little bit more closer would probably be Dark Souls.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I was about to say.
But Zelda casts a little bit wider of a net, and plus we're not as dark as Dark Souls is.
Yeah.
We are a little bit more whimsical than that. But if you wish, you can still, make it really dark if you wish. But still, it's very traditional video game dungeon-y style that we like to make.
Awesome.
Right?
All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump into Tricks of the Trade, and I didn't give you guys time to prepare for this, so I'm just going to ask you. But let's hear the sound effect. Okay, so for Tricks of the Trade, I'm going to have Cory and Chaney each give a piece of advice that they would give to an aspiring game designer who wanted to create their own TRPG, and either how to start or how to get moving or what to do. I know you already mentioned early on World of Game Design as a very good resource, but maybe before they even get there, what would you suggest?
You want to go first, Shane?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think what's really important to me is story. In a world that makes comprehensible sense and that is unique, it ain't got to be super original. It's just got to be unique. And, it's got to make sense. Everything's got to flow and fit together. It was really hard doing Realms of Elghrune because of how much fantasy balancing with sci-fi that I had to do with the story writing. I had to go outside of the box to write Realms of Elghrune. But I also believe that that's the kind of story that intrigues people. So if you're going to start, find something to inspire you, like maybe music. Everything I write is based off of the music I'm listening to. So maybe movies, video games, cinema, music, try to find some inspiration to write you a comprehensible story that you can apply to the table.
I definitely agree with that, Chaney. I have said on the show a number of times how one of the most important things for me as a player is the believability of the world that I'm playing in. And I think there's just something about it being having a sense of realism that makes it much easier to suspend your disbelief and be present in character, experience the emotional outcomes and all of the various things that the story aspect of it can have a real effect on you, but it's got to be real enough to let yourself have that experience. And
you got to have some anchors to, play.
Absolutely.
All right, so mine is to believe in yourself. I cannot tell you how many times throughout this whole process that I told Chaney, are we just making a hawk of crap? Is anyone even going to want to play this? Or do we have anything that's actually usable here? Is this even worth doing? I can't tell you how many times that I said that. But the thing is that I would always remember that people enjoyed it, and if people enjoy it, then it is worth making.
Yeah.
If you keep fun first, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. That will get you to keep going, right? So, like I said, believe in yourself, because if you would play this, if you would play the thing that you're making, other people would too.
Yeah. That's great
Always
advice.
remember that. Always remember that.
Excellent advice. So before we sign off here, let me give you the opportunity to share with the Cyclothids where they can get in touch with you, where they can get a hold of Realms of Elghrune, how they can start playing it, give them all the information they need so they can dive into this world that you've created.
Chaney, you go first, and I'll fill in the gaps.
Well, we have a Discord, a very friendly Discord. You can reach it on our website, realmsofελghrune.com. You can also buy you can get our character sheets, the PDFs, pretty much everything from Realms of Elghrune. Realms of Elghrune now is kind of our hub. if that makes sense. If anybody wants to like, follow me personally and ask me questions on like how to write stories and stuff like that, and ask advice on how to create your own game, like I've got an Instagram. We could try to put it in the description or something.
Yep, I'll have links to everything you guys mentioned put in the show notes. So Cyclothids, just look for that on your player and you can find it there.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing some stuff, but realmsofelghrune.com is going to be like your best place to find everything you're looking for.
Yeah, you missed just a few things.
YouTube,
but you did pretty well.
Yeah, we got a YouTube now.
Well, we're explaining in our own words how to play and just different things about the lore and whatnot. Because some people, they want to kind of test drive before they buy. And so if we can explain it in our own words beforehand, then great. Then another thing is Gen Con 2023.
Yep.
We are going to be there. If you want to sit down and play Realms with us, you can. You need to go to Gen Con, look at the events, and search up Realms of Elghrune. You have to reserve a spot. If you have, they call them event tickets. I can't remember exactly what they are. You can get event specific tickets, and then you can get like event agnostic tickets. If you have either, you can sit down and play with us. Just search us out. You'll be able to find where we're at. It's going to be really simple to find us, but we're gonna be there. If you're going to be there and you want to wait and buy the game there, that's completely fine too. And then, like I said, the PDF is going to be available for sale on our website right now. The books are at the printer right now. Awesome. So the physical will be for sale in a few weeks. Not 100% exactly when, but you can buy the PDFs and start playing right now. Another thing that's on our website that Chaney happened to forget that we haven't talked about at all is a little micro game that we made based off of Realms to show how easy it is to hack the system.
Oh yeah, we made our own hack. I forgot about that.
Called Extinction.
Okay.
If you like things like Dead Space, Resident Evil, Left 4 Dead, we made a zombie killing tabletop RPG using the exact same system as Realms of Elghrune. It's a $5 PDF.
You're welcome, world.
Awesome.
It's like 13 pages long. It's not very long at all. But yeah, so if you want to try that out too, it's a bunch of random roll tables and all that kind of stuff. It's goofy. It's
a blast.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun actually.
So, but other than that, that's pretty much everything. That's all that we got.
Awesome.
So,
well, thank you both so much for being on. I'm very excited about getting the print book. Like I said, I've been flipping through the PDF since it came through a little while ago, and already getting very excited to try playing. We should have you guys on again and maybe do a one shot or something. That would be a lot of fun.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah, that would be really cool. It could have you run me through a little adventure or something.
Absolutely. One thing, too, that I just want to go ahead and recommend to any and everyone that gets the PDF is to read the lore. Definitely read the lore, because if you're interested in the overarching story, it starts there.
Awesome.
So, just letting you know.
Okay, you heard it first here, Cyclothids. Read the lore, get the books, and check the show notes for all of those links so that you can get your own copy and start playing right away. Cory, Chaney, thank you guys so much for being on today. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having us,
Thanks, man.
That's it for today, Cyclothids. Remember to follow us on Instagram, dungeons_dragons_psychology, where you can find a link to our Linktree and all of the various places you can find us online. Also, you can join our Patreon, and you can become an official Cyclothid, where we have a special release episode just for our Cyclothids every month. Until next time, we will see you next session.